So this, I feel like, has been my best friend. And there's a plethora of other pieces of data, and we're gonna cover all that in this video. But to me, body battery is the biggest. It tells me when I need to slow down. I wake up, if my body battery, if I only recovered to a 45, I'm not pushing that day. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Startup UTV, where we talk about tools, tips, and marketing strategies, all to help you start or grow your business. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, where you can get more conversations and deep dive dialogue about starting your business and running a successful company. So I actually recorded a video, I'll link that up here, about the Garmin Venu Sq 4. I've done a lot of different reviews on health bands and biometric tools and stuff like that, because I just feel like as an entrepreneur, it's kind of your best friend. And one of the winning features of the Garmin product specifically, and most people are like, Garmin, I thought they made like GPSs, but they have a feature called body battery. And the reason I like it so much and why I think it's an entrepreneur's or a business owner's best friend is because it literally is just what it sounds to be. It's a body battery. And so it's an algorithmic, there's HRV and some other things you don't need to necessarily worry about, but I found it to be extraordinarily accurate in terms of determining how much juice is in your tank. As business owners, sometimes what we find is we're hearing a lot of people say things like they're burned out, all right? And I am a big proponent, a big believer, having experienced burnout on several occasions myself, of just lacking counterbalance, not knowing, and this is the example I give people. Imagine driving around and you're not looking at the gauges in your car. And turns out your engine's been hot for 3 weeks and you had no idea. Or your gas you're running out of gas and you had no idea you're about to run out of gas until you're on the side of the road and stuck. Business owners, it's the same thing. We're running at extraordinary speeds, much more than you would in a 9 to 5. So most of what we do, most of what I have to do with a lot of our students and clients is to kind of rework their approach. So this, I feel like, has been my best friend. And there's a plethora of other pieces of data, and we're gonna cover all that in this video. But to me, body battery is the biggest. It tells me when I need to slow down. I wake up, if my body battery, if I only recovered to a 45, I'm not pushing that day. I'm gonna invest in learning. I'm gonna invest in maybe some marketing education. I'm gonna read a little bit. I'm gonna work a shorter day. I'm gonna take it easy at the gym, like all those things. If I get a full 100 recovery, I'm going at it. If I see my sleep scores were spot on, I'm getting after it, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Pretty simple. When you open the box here, what you'll find is it's pretty much looks like an Apple Watch, and I like that. I like the interface of this specific device. It feels more modern. You'll find that there's some pretty old school documentation. I would like to see this improved. This kind of feels 90s still. This kind of feels like I went to Radio Shack and bought this device. Now, when it comes to the app, and this is really important, the benefit, if you've already been using a Garmin product, it still uses the Garmin Connect app. Now, there's a lot that I would like to see as far as improvements are concerned with the Garmin Connect app. But overall, I think it's still a winning feature. Now, I did find this, just to be clear, I found it to be a little bit difficult to connect. And sometimes if it got disconnected, as devices sometimes periodically do, it was hard to reconnect it. I found that that's been a big improvement with the Venu. Venu, I think is how you say it. Again, tomato, tomato. It might be the Venu, whatever. But I found it to be way more seamless with the connectivity aspect of things. And the good thing is you've already got the same interface. If you're familiar with it, it's very straightforward. You can go through a lot of the customization options to figure out what you want on your dash, but it's basic stuff, right? It's calories, it's stress, which is another good thing for business owners. What are your stress levels at? This thing's actually great, just like the Venu Sq, about nudging you. Hey, you're a little stressed, and it'll prompt you to do some breathing exercises. Or it'll say, hey, you've been sitting for a while, it's time to move. I was just reading a study that showed there was a 113% increase in chances of insulin resistance just having a sedentary life. Sitting behind desks all day, working on computers, things that our business owners are doing. It's great, and it's an amazing lifestyle, and I'm all here for it. But making sure you get proper steps is fantastic, and this is gonna nudge you and remind you, hey, you've been sitting for a while. So that's a phenomenal, again, part of why it's amazing as a business owner's tool or resource. So I like that it's the same thing. In terms of the watch face itself, I love that it has that feel to it. I'll show you here how on the front you can actually add where it has the total steps for the day, the body battery, as well as the actual time. One of the things with the Venu Sq is you kind of had to scroll to find the data you wanted. So the things that are meaningful, you can just add it to the dash here, right? Your watch face as your opening screen. So that was really cool for me. I liked that the body battery was, it showed me, but also too, if I'm at the gym, I don't have to be like tapping, there actually is a side button here, which that was not present on the Vivosmart. So I like that it has some watch features. The other thing that's cool is you can actually swap out the band on this. So I bought other bands. One of my issues with the Vivosmart was that it kind of is what it is. The band is what it is. Like, you gotta love that color, or and I like to make sure that, like, I got a gray because I feel like that's neutral. Whereas black, if I wore like navy blue, it doesn't really look good. I know it's not necessarily a rule anymore, but I don't think it looks good. So I went with a gray, and it kind of flows. But I also bought other bands that I can add to it if it's a more formal event or things like that. I feel like now you're seeing more and more people in professional setting with more of the Apple type look on this. So I think that's totally cool. In terms of scrolling through here on the app, or the watch face, it's pretty much all the same things as the Vivosmart, which is great, but it's bigger, right? And a lot of the complaints that I heard from the Vivosmart was like, the screen's like this big, and it's tough, right? It's tough to see what's going on. So this has a lot of like visual representations. I can check the weather so I know what's going on for the day if that's important to you. But it's very basic. It also doesn't overwhelm you, right? So you can hit play if you're trying to play something on your phone, like music or something, and it'll sync up with your phone and do that. So there's some nice features, but it's also not overwhelming. Some of these things, I feel like they just put so much into it. And it's like, I'm never going to use all of this. Why would this exist, right? I feel like this is as simplistic as it can be. And there's only 2 buttons. It's like, hey, here's this button to go back to the menu, and here's this button to look at different activities. It has a lot of activities that you can add, like running, treadmill, indoor track, bike, swim, golf, ski, etc. But maybe not as many as the Phoenix. But here it's like the things that normal humans would do, like elliptical, pool swim, walk indoor, walk, bike indoor, bike, right? Like normal human stuff. So I think you're getting all of that there. Now, let me get one more pro, and then let me get to a couple cons. Big pro. This battery lasts forever and a day. It legitimately lasts almost, I've gone a whole week where I go on a trip or something, and I don't have to worry about bringing the charger with me, which I think the charger is a little bit more improved. I'll show what it looks like on this watch because I think it's much improved over the Vivosmart. It does take longer to charge because the battery does last longer, but you're getting long length of battery on this device, and I think that is tremendous. The Vivosmart was great about updating your steps. So I have a little mini trampoline in the house, so that's a little hack, by the way. If you want to get more steps, just jump on the trampoline because you're still doing the same lymphatic things to like help your body. You're getting movement. It's all the same thing, relatively speaking. But in real time, the Vivosmart was faster at documenting those steps, whereas I feel like it's a little bit delayed with the Venu for some reason, and I haven't entirely figured out why that is the case. All right, and then one other feature that I don't like that the Vivosmart has that this one doesn't is you used to be able with the Venu to go like this, and it just would pop up, and it just did it when I did it this time. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I lift my arm up, and it's like, well, okay, like, can you please show? And then I got to like tap on it or hit the buttons, and so that's not ideal. In an ideal world, I would lift it up, and ironically, of course, it's doing it perfectly now. But sometimes I found that it doesn't entirely do that. So that obviously is on the non-ideal side of things. But overall, I give this is my favorite. I'm going to wear this one for a long time. I've tried the Whoop. I've tried the Halo. I've tried the Vivosmart, as I mentioned. I've tried a lot of these things. And honestly, I think this one is at the top of my list. I think it has the clean aesthetic of the Apple Watch. It has some amazing features. It's super simple. It's not going to overwhelm people. But I think it has the main functionality that as a business owner, you are really looking for. If you're looking for more on the fitness side of thing, you want to like push yourself at the gym, then yeah, sure, Whoop is fantastic. But as far as business owners are concerned, if that's your priority of measuring those important measurements for operating at your best as a business owner, I think you cannot go wrong with the Garmin Venu. So hope you guys like this video. Make sure you drop your comments below. What did you think about the Venu? Are there other questions that you have about this specific watch as it relates to any watch or just this one specifically? Also, don't forget, there are 3 ways that you can work with me beyond this video if you are a business owner and looking for some additional help. Number 1, you can actually download my ultimate startup checklist. This is a womb to tomb checklist of everything you need in order to start your business the right way. If you're already in business, you can actually attend my free class. It's how to sell and market your company online without sounding cringe and hokey and, like some of the people you've seen online, like the influencer types that you're like, oh, I don't never want to sound like that. You can go check that out as well. It's about a 35-minute class, but it's well worth your time. It's one of our best resources that we have, and it's 100% free for you to attend. And then lastly, is what type of business should you start quiz. If you're unsure, but you kind of know you want to get into self-employment, having your own business, it's important that you build a business that's good for your lifestyle, not building a life around a business. I've done that myself. It is a terrible way to live life. It's super overwhelming, and you find that you kind of feel like a prisoner. It's like, why did I create this prison cell for myself? This will get you out on the right track and help you decide what is the best business type, even if it's in the same industry that you're thinking, what type of business model should you have? And that's gonna be included in that quiz. All those links are included in the description below. Don't forget to like this video. Make sure you subscribe or hit the bell for notifications so you see more videos like this. And also make sure to comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.